Hi, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Dave, and we are the IB English guys, and today we're going to give you the magic sentence. This magic sentence will give you a great way to analyze a text, talk about author choices, and how that shapes meaning.
Wow, Mr. Giles, you seem really confident and really excited. I like the magic sentence too. Here we go. Our preview for today is as follows. We're just going to remind you a couple of the requirements of paper one, and then we're going to talk about 3 pitfalls to avoid when thinking about analysis in your IB work. We're then going to introduce the magic sentence, and then we'll give you 10 concrete examples that link to our previous video where we looked at the opening passage of a play, Death and the Maiden. And you are going to love the magic sentence, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so when we think about the paper one is asking us to have convincing and insightful interpretation. This is criteria A, and this is very important. The magic sentence addresses that.
Yeah, of course, criterion B is when you are looking for that insightful and convincing analysis, and you're also evaluating these authorial choices and considering their effects on the audience. Giles, we see various degrees of success when we examine. What are some pitfalls to avoid?
Yeah, so sometimes students forget to label features. Again, we're caught up in discussing a text. We have to make sure we use that terminology and that we label features. The magic sentence will help us do that.
Yeah, the second pitfall to avoid is omitting the author. Sometimes students are too descriptive and they don't think about the relationship, the intentionality behind the author and the choice, and I think that hurts analysis. The magic sentence will solve this problem.
The third pitfall is sometimes we have weak analysis. We're not really connecting to deep ideas. I'm always thinking about depth when I try to write something. So we want to make sure that we are connecting these features and what the author's doing to a deeper idea. The magic sentence really forces us to have deep analysis when we discuss things.
Giles, you're killing me. What is the magic sentence? Tell us.
Okay, so it's a simple formula, and I think the best way for us to give you the formula, and then we'll go right to some concrete examples that we apply to the dramatic excerpt that we have. So the magic sentence is writer plus verb plus technique plus purpose plus idea equals
the magic sentence.
Yeah, that's right.
Writer plus verb plus technique plus purpose plus idea equals
the magic sentence.
All right, I think I got it. Let's talk about it in more detail.
Okay, so first of all, the magic sentence enables us to show that link between the technique and the writer's ideas.
Yeah, the second thing this accomplishes is that it really forces you to acknowledge the role of the writer. You're not going to be descriptive. You're talking about the writer's choice.
And the magic sentence really forces us to develop that idea and really think about how that shapes meaning.
Yeah, I think the magic sentence, Mr. Giles, could be used at the beginning of a paragraph as a topic sentence, or it could be in the middle of one of your paragraphs where you're really highlighting that deep analysis.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, the magic sentence is really what this text is, what this course is all about, is how authors are making choices and they're trying to influence the reader through the text. So it's that link between the author and the text and the reader.
Let's break some down, Giles. Why don't you start us off with the first one, and let's consider the technique of stage directions in the writer Ariel Dorfman, of course linking to our last video.
Okay, so let's take a look at our magic sentence. Dorfman introduces stage directions to show Paulina's sense of unease and fear as she awaits the arrival of her husband.
Mr. Giles, I really love the idea in there, this idea of unease. I love the verb, introduce, the purpose to show, the technique is there, the writer's name. I get the magic sentence. I think I see what this is trying to accomplish.
It's simple. You can see that the real meat of that sentence is the idea that ends the sentence.
Can I try another one?
Try another one. Let's do the next one.
Ariel Dorfman uses the setting and time of day to create a feeling of uncertainty, isolation, and tension.
Ooh.
Let's check it out. Writer, check. Verb, check. Technique, check. Purpose, check. Idea, oh yeah. Uncertainty, isolation, and tension, double, triple check. The magic sentence works.
Okay, that's great. So we've got that connection, and we got the time of day that's there. Okay, the next one, we're going to think about the set. Dorfman builds the set to show Paulina's desire for escape and her sense of loneliness and fear of the real world.
Ooh, I like that focus on fear this time. Let me try another one.
Okay.
Dorfman develops Paulina's character to illustrate the trauma that victims of political violence and sexual abuse endure and the psychological aftermath. Rich ideas in that one, Mr. Giles.
Cool.
Political violence, abuse, and psychological aftermath. Great sentence. I love the magic sentence. Tell me more.
That's good. I think, again, that meaty idea that we're forced to really think about is the critical piece. Okay, the next one, we're going to talk about the plot. Ariel Dorfman constructs the plot to establish the dynamic, intense confrontation between victim and victimizer and the precarious middleman.
Another rich idea, Giles. Victim versus victimizer in the role that middleman plays really does tap into Roberto, gets into a deep idea of this play. Awesome.
Just want to emphasize all of these sentences that we're showing you correspond to a passage that we talked about in a previous video. That's just a reminder, and that passage is linked down below.
Yeah, very important. We're not just pulling these out of thin air.
Yeah, these are all kind of interconnected to that one passage. Okay, next one.
Should I try dialogue?
Do dialogue.
The playwright creates dialogue to reflect the tension in the marriage and the lack of trust between Paulina and Gerardo. I really like the variety of words here. We've got words such as uses, introduces, builds, develops, constructs, creates. I see how this works, Giles. Good stuff.
Yeah, notice also that we're using present tense. When we write about literature, we want to use the present tense. This is called the literary present. Yeah. So this again forces us to think about that. Okay, we're going to talk about props now. The playwright inserts props such as the gun to convey the threat of violence and the paranoia of those recovering from oppressive regimes.
What do you like about that one, Giles?
Well, I like the fact that we're identifying the props, but also just specifically mentioning the gun. Again, this is not forcing you to do things like a robot where we can be fluid with this. This is just a training wheels, so to speak. I like the fact that, again, we're connecting the prop to that specific idea about paranoia and the threat of violence.
Yeah, it's all about linking the feature to the idea and showing how that shapes meaning, and these magic sentences are accomplishing that. Let me try sounds, Giles.
Okay.
Dorfman utilizes sounds, such as the sea in the faraway car, to represent mystery, uncertainty, and the fear of the unknown.
Nice.
I do like how you're using the parentheses to add additional information. Another thing, students, you might want to consider is using dashes to offset some of those phrases.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think that might work as well.
I like that too. You're linking that thing, and of course, this is going to go with a textual reference that might be a part of the paragraph.
Yeah,
right?
typically, folks, the textual reference would come before the magic sentence, and I think that's a really important thing to know because you're probably thinking, "Where's the reference?" We like to have our students put the reference first in another sentence and then analyze it.
And then your magic sentence follows that. Okay, the next we're going to talk about lighting. The playwright describes the moonlight and the dim lamp to evoke a feeling of unease or mystery, or perhaps to connect the theme of the elusiveness of truth.
Hey, this one's interesting to me. You've actually used the word theme in the idea, so I think students, if that's something you want to specify, even consider linking that into the idea as well. That's a nice use of the magic sentence.
I like the word perhaps. Perhaps with analysis is really wise because you're saying there's the possibility of this, and you're actually giving multiple interpretations in that idea sentence.
Yeah, really good. Last one I want to do, Giles, I want to try atmosphere, okay? Dorfman reveals an atmosphere of fear to establish the idea that post-dictatorship societies have lingering traumatic effects from a time of oppression and violence. I'll tell you what I love about this, Giles, is that idea of post-dictatorship societies. I think we've really narrowed down a specific context, and I think that's a really specific and analytical sentence to look at.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that there's a very big takeaway here, and I think this might be one of the most valuable videos we've done so far. I have to say, like, we've done a lot of videos, but this particular video is hopefully giving you a very concrete way to improve your analysis. The best way to do this is, as you can imagine, I'm going to say, is to practice this.
Yeah.
So have a look at another handout down below where we're just going to have a simple table for you to practice the magic sentence. Teachers, I would use this in your class. It's just use the magic sentence and establish ways to improve analysis.
Yeah, you'll also notice in the handouts there's a table of another document that has a bunch of analytical verbs that you can interchange with the magic sentence. Folks, in closing, we just really thought this was a valuable video. A lot of students ask us, how can we improve our analysis? We believe the magic sentence has helped our students immensely, and we want it to help you as well.
Last thing is I want to just give thanks to Lisa Forehand, a colleague who gave us the magic sentence activity. I think it's been really useful, so thanks, Lisa. If you actually have gotten to the end of one of our videos, you'll see that we're thanking
Highly
you.
unlikely, okay? Folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, guys.